Phil, thank you very much for joining us today here. Of course, eve of the match, Uganda versus Papua New Guinea. Phil, for starters, tell us a bit about this role. Of course, you bring huge experience to the table for PNG with whatever you've done around the world. Of course, a legend here in terms of your playing career and then even as a coach around the world. So what is the opportunity all about? And while I believe it's around the tournament only, what is it you're striving to achieve with these very, what comes on paper at least, or what we saw, really an exciting group of talent?
I think it all started with a number of years ago with me coaching Tatenda, who's the head coach here in Zimbabwe. And in this time coming to the World Cup, I think he thought, well, look, the way how I am, I can help add some value to this team during the tournament. And he approached me, and it's great to work with him. He's been doing an excellent job. And since I've been here, it's been exciting. The way they do things, their energy, their enjoyment. It's just been an enjoyable time for me. So the last, 3 weeks now, it's been exciting and nice.
You made your team sweat a lot, the West Indian team the other day. So how are the feelings? Of course, I'm sure at the end of the day, of course, you're a top-notch professional, but the fact that West Indies were probably in a really close fight. So I'm sure from a PNG perspective, a great performance that. Tell us a bit about that and what you think is really that keeps this makes this side tick and going while they're absolutely newcomers to this kind of an event.
I think the joy of playing the game, and which is something I love to see, the joy of playing the game and giving everything when they go out in the middle, giving everything when we come to practice. It's a part of my game, and it's a part of what I like to see in teams that I work with. So seeing that and seeing the energy they have, I remember the first practice session, the energy in just the warm-ups, I was like, how are we going to practice today? But they love it, and the enjoyment of being at a World Cup and representing PNG is huge. So I have enjoyed that.
Of course, you know so much about the conditions here, having played all your life and having coached as well. So, of course, that will also come in handy, the experience that you bring. And in your opinion, the T20 format, the way it's evolving, of course, people are talking about big scores all around the world, but maybe that might not be the case, as we have seen at the start of the tournament and maybe later on. So what is that advice that probably you are going to give to your players in terms of adapting to these conditions? What should they be aiming for, especially the batters, because, of course, that's a specialty of yours?
Yeah, I think the big thing that we've been trying to get them to understand is the adaptation. For instance, we played here, and after 5 or 6 overs, you can see it's not going to be a 170 wicket, but we were trying to get to 150 because we know we'd be in the game then. And as we've seen in most of the other games around the tournament, it's not going to be a IPL type season with 250s and 260s. So that adaptation and that understanding of the situation of the game and what they have to do. And I think Sese showed what we've been trying to get into everybody's head the way he played that day. So that's the main objective of me being just trying to get them to understand that part of the game.
Phil, it seemed at times very strategic in the way PNG went against the West Indies batsmen. How much a role did you have to play in that regard, especially with some of the leggies being a part of the attack as well?
Well, the thing is that you use your strengths, and we have certain things that we are strong at here. So we tried to make sure that was part of the plan, and it nearly worked. You know, a few little, I would say, not mistakes, but experience-wise, a little more experience, and a few things will have gone differently. But I can only give my advice as to what to do. They have to do it on the pitch.
Yeah, and you spoke about it nearly worked. Look, this is a group where there are probably 2 favorites and another team aiming out to get out. But PNG could play a bit of an upset in that regards. How are you telling the guys that there's a pressure on the other sides to win to ensure they get out of the group, and there's none in PNG, and they could be a real dark horse in this group?
Well, that's the thing. We started the tournament. There's only 1 game gone. So we still got 3 more games, and we pull off 2 wins in those 3 games, you never know where we can be because of how tight this group can be with the so-called 3 top teams and then us at the bottom. But we're not looking at it like that. We're looking at it like 5 teams in this, and we need to play our best and try and win 2 games, possibly 3, and get out of the tournament into the next round.
Ryan Sukram from NCN Sports.
Nice.
What is the mood going into the next game, knowing that PNG came in the backyard of West Indies and give them a run for the money? What's the mood like going forward for you guys?
The mood is just that we made a couple of mistakes against West Indies, and we want to correct those, do as well as we did in the first game, but just add that 1-2% to our game. There's a few little things we identified that we need to make sure that we do a little bit better. So that's the mood going into the second game.
Phil, in your, of course, very rich coaching experience, what do you think is that thing that perhaps sets these teams apart? Of course, the big teams, when you're facing them in a format like this where an upset is possible, what is that needs to be done? Of course, the gap perhaps can be narrowed, but is there any particular ingredient that you're looking for in terms of maybe the performances on field, or maybe it's in the mind as well, that when you're playing against bigger opposition, you're ready to see them in the eye?
Yeah, I think for me it's mostly in the mind. I think if it's a case you're looking at them as this big opposition, on the day anything's possible, and that's how we've got to look at. We've got to play our best cricket on the day, and at some point they need to falter a little bit because there's so much more experience and in some cases skills that they need to falter a little bit. But we need to play our best game every time we go out there.
You did at the start of this press conference say that you enjoy these roles a lot. So tell us just a final question. Such a rich experience, as I said, around the world. And what all is there to look forward to for Phil Simmons also in a personal capacity at this event? How you said it's all about joy and satisfaction that it brings you, seeing people perform. So is it how you would want to continue and maybe continue to contribute to cricket around the world, not only maybe in West Indies?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Wherever I go, I would try and get the best out of the players that I am working with and try to win whatever competition I'm playing in. It is how you should be looking at things and how I look at things. Get the best out of your players, get them to play together and try and win as much as you can.
From a home side perspective, last question, would you want them to lift the trophy for the 3rd time?
Right now, I want PNG to win the trophy.
Thank you very much, Phil, and all the very best.
Thank you.